Dear friends, welcome back. In this video, I'd like to go through one machine on the Van Hub, which is InfoSec Warrior CTF3. This is the third machine in the series of InfoSec Warrior. From my point of view, this series is very good, which deserves your own practice. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss my uploaded videos in the subscription field. Also, if you don't mind, please leave a like below. This will help me with YouTube algorithm. So enough talk, let's just get started. We can switch over to the Kali Linux VM. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be NetDiscover. So let's launch NetDiscover. So as you can see over here, the IP address of the target could be recognized as 139. So what are we going to do next? We need to do the port and surface scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before. So for now, we just get out its result. As you can see over here, I used the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, followed by the -p- to do the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. So from the map scanning, we can tell that the target has two open port numbers. The first one, 22, which is running SSH service, and also version information accordingly, including the exact version number. Of course, although this version is not very updated, I don't think we can find any workable vulnerability for this particular version. The second one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information accordingly, Apache 2. So what do we have to the next? We need to do immersion with this web application, both manually and automatically. Let's open up the Firefox to start with, and we can put the IP address of the target into the address bar. Press enter. Yeah, we got the page back. It looks like the page is not rendered completely and properly. Let's check out its source code. And because I think the reason is that the address is pointed to localhost. Anyway, so far we have already know that the target is running WordPress. So how to do next? We need to do more immersion. For example, we need to check whether this site has robots file, right? Robots, not found. Next, we can launch Ligato to do the automatic immersion. Ligato can immerate the web application from various aspects, for example, like a banner, the Apache 2, and also, the request header information, and the common files or directories. Also, some common files or directories can be immerted out, although it's built in. Word list is not so big. Anyway, it's done. And it confirms our early discovery during the manual immersion stage. The target is running WordPress, and also find this PHP MyAdmin. This is application which administers the database, the MySQL database. So I think we need to take a look at this directory or this application first. Press enter, and just I mentioned in the other videos, if the PHP MyAdmin or the database is accessible by the public, we need to test whether the database is vulnerable to weak credentials. For example, in this case, we can use root as username and also root as password. And let's click go. Wonderful, it does work. Even without so much efforts, we have already logged into the phpMyAdmin. And let's go back. And also, in the meantime, we can do the directory enumeration, and we can press enter. And of course, although the GoBuster can discover some files and directories, but all of them belong to the default WordPress installations, including the files and directories. To save time, I'd like to interrupt here. So let's go back to the phpMyAdmin. If we can get access to the phpMyAdmin application, so how to exploitation, how to make exploitation. And from my point of view, there will be different ways. The first one, we need to check whether the password is crackable or not. Okay, and then next we can use the SQL statement, query statement to write files. For example, like a malicious PHP reverse file or one-liner of a PHP, one-liner of a web shell. Okay, so we can, for example, we can use select and we can, for example, we can write something like this one. PHP system get CMD. And we can use into out file, and we can limit. Okay, so of course, I think I've already demonstrated the second technique for several times. Okay, so if you wish, you can check it out my channel. And the third method, we can check what we can do if the password is not crackable, and also we do not have permission or privilege to save or write a file, and we can try to update the password. We can set a new password. Okay, so I think that there are at least 3 techniques to exploit the phpMyAdmin. You know, of course, the goal of such exploitation is to get initial foothold on the target or get a shell on the target. So let's try one by one. So first of all, the first technique, and we can go to the users table. User tables contains credentials, and there are 2 users. The first one is Krishna, and we can copy. Maybe the first user should be the administrator, or has more privilege other than the second one. We can copy, and then we can save this hash value to file, and then we can launch the John the Ripper to crack it, because I've already cracked it before, and so John the Ripper will not make such attack again. To display the password, we can use option of show John show hashes. Okay, as you can see, the password is infosec, and now let's go back. Actually, because the the hard-coded link is set to localhost, of course, I don't think we can access the WordPress administrators panel. So let's try it now. Should be WordPress admin. As you can see, unable to connect. So, however, maybe the password or credentials are reused by different scenarios. For example, this credentials is used by the database collection. Also, in the meantime, will be used as system, okay, or SSH rather. So now we can try SSH, and the username, and followed by the IP address of target, we can press enter, and the password we can copy. I do not want to type in a bit lazy. Also, I do not want to make a mistake. So as you can see, we are successfully logged in as user Krishna, and we got the message. Okay, the message, I configured WordPress for you and make you admin of it. Your login credentials are same as your system login credentials. It is. Yeah, it's true. Okay. Nothing else. So next we can go to the home directory to make a more local enumeration loop shell. And here, do we have a permission to navigate to SSH directory? Although we can, but nothing there. And also, I don't think we can write a file into this directory. For example, like JSON, hello, test. As you can see, we do not have permission or privilege to save a file under this directory. In other words, we cannot, for example, we can create the key pairs, and then we can, for example, we can upload the public key and save the key into the authorized files. I have already demonstrated this technique for many times as well, but in this case, this technique cannot work. So now let's go back. And also we can hear some shell script like a code. Let's take a look at. So the code is doing some compiler, GCC compiler, and the source code. And we need to provide the argument, source code. Maybe the argument should be the string, right? And output to this file, okay? And you can find your compiled code in this directory. All right, so at this moment, we do not know how to use it. And also here, backup. Actually, this one is not a text file. We can use a file, command. Oh, sorry, text. Actually, this is the executable and also 64-bit executable. And I think maybe this one is created by this source code. We can cut out the backup, C code, and here this is the function backup return 0, and the main function print out welcome to this one, print the blah. So nothing very useful. Next, we need to check the kernel. The kernel is a bit old, so I think I'm almost for certain this kernel is vulnerable, but I'm not going to exploit the kernel. If you want me to demonstrate this technique for this machine, please let me know in the comment below. And so what else we can do? For example, we can check whether this current user can run sudo. Yeah, we can. And we can make a lot of movement by running this shell script. And just now we have to know that this script, what this script is doing or is going to do. We can provide the argument, and so I think we can utilize the GCC and followed by the source code or some command to make a lateral movement. So how to do? We can go to the GCC, the GTF OBIM's website, and you can search GCC, and we can copy this part. Maybe I copy later. So we can use sudo with u option loop spell, and we can copy this absolute path of the shell script. And also we need to give the parameter. We can copy. I think we need to use single quote or double quotes. I'm not sure. Maybe the single quote is okay. So now we can press enter. It does work. Amazing, right? And then we can, I think we can grab the user flag because we have permission. So next, what can we do next? We need to make a privilege escalation. Again, similarly, we can check the current user. The loop spell can run sudo. It can. And I think we can utilize this or the GCC to elevate a privilege. And we just repeat the step. So we can sudo, and we can copy. I think we can copy this part. Paste over here, press enter. So from the pound symbol, we can know that we have already been successful in privilege escalation. And now we can navigate to root directory, and then we can grab the root flag without any issue. So that's all I'd like to do in this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Have a nice day, please.